Welcome back to StabtheDragon Productions for episode number 166 as we continue the Texas Rye Whiskey Tournament, bracket number 3. This is Monday, April 29th, 2024. In each of these contests, I'm simply looking for which rye I would drink between the two offered 3 out of 5 times during a week. If I was going to drink these two whiskeys 5 times, which one would I choose first 3 out of those 5 nights? Now, all of these whiskeys have been good. And I've gone through, I think, 21 ryes so far from Texas or related to Texas. And I've got 4 more to go that I haven't looked at in the past. But I want to know which Texas ryes are my personal favorites. All of them have been good. There's not been any that I would say are bad. Now, there are some that I prefer to others, certainly. And there's a few Texas whiskeys out there, Texas ryes out there, that I haven't gotten to and probably won't due to cost and also storage room. So just a few, though. I've got by far most Texas ryes. Now some of these ryes are not distilled in Texas. Some are distilled in Indiana or Kentucky and Oklahoma, but they still have Texas roots. So, it's not 100% Texas whiskey, but most of these I think are grain to glass Texas. Now, I evaluate the history of the whiskeys a little bit. I look at the bottle and the label, the marketing, then I check the nose and the visual appearance of the whiskey. But in the final analysis, it's mouthfeel, taste, and finish that does it. That's what determines the winner. And in the event of a tie, and there have been a couple of ties, price and availability are the tie breakers. The contestants tonight, we have in this corner, Still Austin Straight Rye, the artist. Coming from the Still Austin Distillery in Austin, Texas, this whiskey weighs in at 99.6 proof and costs at the distillery $50. Total wine $49.99. Specs $52.62 and Goody Goody $49.99. All for a 750 milliliter bottle in Fort Worth, Texas. This whiskey was actually in bracket 1 and beat out Cotton Hollow in the semifinals and was set to face off with Blackland 83 proof in the final. Then Still Austin sent me an advertisement for a drag show for all ages. Well, that didn't sit well with me, and so I disqualified Still Austin then. I've decided to bring Still Austin back here at the end of the competition, give them another shot, just focusing on the whiskey. And I hope, nothing untoward comes my way from Still Austin. Unbendt, unblended straight rye whiskey, bottled in bond. This is the other competitor coming out of Lewisville, Texas. It's made using local North Texas grain, and it's made grain to glass at Bent Distilling in Lewisville. This unique rye has been slow aged in the Texas heat for over 5.5 years. It was released in 2023. The grain bill includes Elbon rye triticale hybrid grain, Maris Otter malted barley, and Naked Streaker oats. Really? Aged 5+ years in a 53-gallon standard bourbon barrel with a char level of 3.5. This is 100 proof and cost at the distillery is $59.99. At Total Wine, $53.99. Was not listed at the Specs website. And Goody Goody, $54.59. Those are our two competitors. So the history behind these, I don't really have that much, except with Unbendt. What you've got is this is the same distillery that used to be Witherspoon Distillery. And Witherspoon made a bourbon that was very good, but I think it was a blend. They imported some bourbon from somewhere, as well as having some Texas. And then Witherspoon himself, I think, was in the Marine Corps and learned distilling while he was deployed to Africa, and then came back and started a whiskey company. And so why did he learn distilling in Africa? The story goes that he had learned some African ways of doing things to purify water. I think maybe I'm not sure. The history gets a little bit murky because Witherspoon sold out to his partners, and they changed the name from Witherspoon Distillery to Bent Distillery. So that there's a little bit of history there. Still Austin has been around for just a few years in Austin, and I don't think there's anything exciting in their history. So I want to give the history to Unbendt. Bottle label and marketing, though. Unbendt is got these tall, skinny bottles and just a very plain Jane label. It is got the green color there to signify rye, which is not a legal requirement at all. But Still Austin, on the other hand, their bottles, all their bottles, have tremendous artwork. They have a local artist that does their labels, and this one is called The Artist. And if you look, it's a lady with a palette of paint and a paintbrush, and she's painting something. So as far as bottle label and marketing, I really think Still Austin wins that one. They are, I think, a bigger impact in Texas than Unbendt, than Bent Distilling is at this point. So bottle label and marketing goes to Still Austin. Visual appearance, though. Let's look at these whiskeys. I have mixed these up. I do not know which glass is which, but they are close to identical there. I can't tell the difference by looking at them. If you hold the bottles up, I think the Unbendt is clearly dark. Well, see, in the camera, it looks like Still Austin's darker. So I don't know. They're about the same. There you go. I don't know. They're about the same. So there's nothing visual. I tend to go aesthetically for the darker whiskeys. That's just a personal thing. Now, it's not part of the competition, but one of the things that I do is I try to see if I can tell which whiskey is which as I start looking at it, nosing it, and tasting it. On the bottom, Still Austin has a number 1, and Unbendt has a number 2. And again, I don't know which is which. And that doesn't affect the score. It doesn't affect the winner at all. It's just, can I tell the difference between these two whiskeys and identify which is which? And then, as usual, I have my Topo Chico to cleanse the palate. Let's go for the nose, and I'll start on my left. This has a pleasant nose. I'm getting just a little bit of the Texas funk, a little bit of a sweet whiskey smell. Not really any rye spice going on there. It's not a real strong nose, but it's there. Let me try the one on my right. This one does have a little bit of rye spice. It's not as strong as the other one. No Texas funk. So just going off the nose, I'm going to say this is Still Austin, and this one is Unbendt. So I'm going to switch these to line up with the bottles. Still Austin is just a little bit lower proof than Unbendt, so if this is Still Austin, which I think so according to the nose, I'm going to start with the lower proof here, which is 99.6 versus 100. Come on. Cheers. Well, okay. The flavor there is very rich, nice mouthfeel. Getting some candy, a little bit of mint, a little bit of the Texas funk. Some rye spice. I'm going to agree that that's the Still Austin. But I need to taste the other one just to be sure. But see, Still Austin, this is my second bottle of Still Austin. I'm getting pine tree note. Some serious pine needles, pine tree going on, minty. So I'm pretty sure that's the Still Austin. So that should have been glass number 1 if you saw that. So this one's got the weaker nose. I'm pretty sure that's number 2, that's unbent. You get a little bit more of the Texas funk there. Sweetness is tamped down some. You're still on the finish getting a little bit of rye spice. But if that's the unbent, keep in mind part of the mash bill is triticale and oats. Triticale, oats, and barley. Yeah. There's no corn in there. That's why it's not as sweet. I'm real sure this is number 2. Well, dang. Now I'm not sure. So I just got a heavy dose of rye spice on that, and I think the Still Austin had a little bit more of a rye note. Wow. Now I am really not sure which is which. I'm going to stick with my guess, and I'm going to think that this one is the Still Austin, number 1. Nope, it's number 2. Dang it. How did I mess that up? Okay. Well, that just threw me for a loop. I couldn't tell those two apart. Frankly, I thought sure I'd be able to tell the unbent from the Still Austin, because unbent's got the Texas funk pretty strong there, just like all their others. The fact that I couldn't tell those apart, that really surprises me. But now try to tell me which one I like the most. This may be a tie. I'm just not sure. Wow. Yeah, see, that time I'm getting heavier dose of the rye spice, the pine needles, but I started getting that on the Unbendt as well. This is where it gets tough. I'm gonna say this is a tie, and the tiebreaker has to be price and availability. And Still Austin is in all of the major stores. Unbendt I could not find at the Specs website. Unbendt is also more expensive by, $4 or $5. So, dang, Still Austin for the win, but it's a squeaker. That is, I hate it when I get a tie. But what do you do? I legitimately could not tell which was which. I cannot tell which one I prefer over the other. They are both fantastic. These may be the two of the best. I don't know. We'll see when they go up against Balcones. All right, well, that's the contest. Still Austin wins by the tiebreaker. Next time we meet for the rye whiskey tournament, I think it's going to be Giant Texas cask strength versus Still Austin cask strength. So those two heavy hitters are going to come up next. Until then, this is Stab the Dragon, out here.